before I made it. I got Sid Sheinberg had found the book and sent me the book in 1982. He sent me the book the weekend E.T. was released. He'd read a review in the before, but it's been 30 years since I've been back to India. I was here, the last time was in 1983.
Steven Spielberg grew up watching Westerns. Then he made one. Then he picked 10 films that define the genre. Not 11, 10.
It somehow has stood, all his films have stood, the test of time. And I don't, hold Liberty Valance up to John Ford's cinema.
Number 10, The Man Who Shot, Liberty Valance, 1962. John Ford directed The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance and gave Spielberg the template for mythology versus truth. James Stewart plays Ransom Stoddard, a senator returning to the small town of Shinbone for a funeral. The funeral is for Tom Doniphan, John Wayne, a rancher. Nobody knows why a senator would attend. So Stoddard tells a reporter the story. Decades earlier, he arrived in Shinbone as a young lawyer. Lee Marvin plays Liberty Valance, a gunfighter terrorizing the town. Stoddard challenges him. They duel in the street. Stoddard wins, becomes a hero, becomes a senator. But the truth is different. Stoddard did not kill Valance. Tom Doniphan did. Shot him from the shadows. Let Stoddard take the credit. The film ends with the famous line, "When the legend becomes fact, print the legend." Spielberg calls this the most important film about American mythology ever made because it exposes how heroes are created, not through truth, through narrative, through the stories we choose to believe. Stoddard built his career on a lie. The reporter knows it is a lie and chooses to print the legend anyway because the truth does not matter. The story matters. Spielberg learned this lesson and applied it to every historical film he ever made. Schindler's List is not documentary, it is legend. Saving Private Ryan is not accurate, it is mythology. Lincoln is not history, it is narrative. Ford taught Spielberg that cinema is not about truth. It is about creating meaning through story. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is shot almost entirely on sound stages, fake towns, fake deserts. Because Ford understood that Westerns are not about the West. They are about America, about the stories we tell ourselves to justify our existence. Spielberg studied this film more than any other Ford Western. The way it deconstructs heroism, the way it admits that civilization is built on convenient lies, the way it suggests that maybe lies are necessary, that without mythology, there is no progress, just chaos. This film taught Spielberg that directors are not historians, they are myth makers, and myths serve society better than facts. Every Spielberg historical film operates on this principle. The stories might not be accurate, but they are true. True to emotion, true to meaning, true to what we need to believe about ourselves. That came from Ford, from Liberty Valance, from understanding that cinema's power is not documentation, it is transformation.
That's a general idea. Throw it.
Number 9, Rio Bravo, 1959. Howard Hawks directed Rio Bravo, and Spielberg calls it the perfect example of ensemble filmmaking. John Wayne plays Sheriff John T. Chance, holding a prisoner in a small-town jail, waiting for the U.S. Marshal to arrive. The prisoner's brother wants him back, hires gunmen, surrounds the jail, and Chance waits. Dean Martin plays Dude, a drunk trying to get sober. Walter Brennan plays Stumpy, an old deputy. Ricky Nelson plays Colorado, a young gunfighter. Angie Dickinson plays Feathers, a woman with a past. These 5 people hold the jail against 40 gunmen. For 2 hours and 21 minutes, the film watches them wait together. Spielberg loves this film because Hawks understood something crucial. Action is boring without character. Rio Bravo is mostly conversation, coffee, card games, arguments, jokes. The characters bond, trust each other, build family. Then the violence comes, and you care because you know these people. Spielberg borrowed this structure for Jaws. 4 men on a boat, talking, drinking, telling stories, building relationships. So when the shark attacks, it matters. He borrowed it again for Saving Private Ryan. Squad members bonding before battles. For War Horse, characters connecting before tragedy. Hawks taught Spielberg that audiences do not remember action sequences. They remember characters. The scene where Dude regains his confidence, Stumpy singing, Colorado proving himself, Feathers playing poker. These moments are more important than the final shootout. Spielberg studied Hawks' pacing, the patience, the willingness to let scenes breathe, to trust that character development creates better tension than the constant action. Rio Bravo runs over 2 hours. 30 minutes of that is action. The rest is people existing together, and it is never boring because Hawks made you care. Spielberg learned that lesson, applied it to every film. Even his action films prioritize character over spectacle. That came from Hawks, from Rio Bravo, from understanding that the waiting creates the payoff. That if you do not care about characters, you will not care when they fight, when they die, when they win. Hawks made a film about people you want to spend time with, so spending 2 hours with them feels like a privilege, not a chore. Spielberg internalized this. Every ensemble he ever created follows the Rio Bravo template. Different personalities forced together, learning to work together, becoming family.
Handed at high noon. With every swing of the
Number 8. High Noon, 1952. Fred Zinnemann directed High Noon and created the template for real-time tension. Gary Cooper plays Will Kane, the Marshal of Hadleyville, his last day on the job. He just got married, about to leave town. Then he gets news. Frank Miller is coming, a killer Kane sent to prison, released on a technicality, arriving on the noon train. Kane asks the town for help. Everyone refuses. His deputy quits. The judge flees. The townspeople hide. Kane stands alone in the street, waiting. The film runs 85 minutes. The story takes place in real time. 85 minutes from 10:30 to noon. The clock is constant. Every scene shows the time, building tension, ticking toward the inevitable confrontation. Spielberg calls this the greatest suspense Western ever made, because Zinnemann understood that waiting is more powerful than action. The entire film is anticipation, Kane walking through town, asking for help, being refused. The camera shows the empty street, the clock is ticking, the train approaching. This structure influenced every Spielberg film with a ticking clock. Jaws with the 4th of July deadline, Saving Private Ryan with the countdown to D-Day +3, Munich with assassinations across Europe, The Terminal with Victor trapped in the airport. High Noon taught Spielberg that deadlines create urgency, that showing time passing makes audiences feel trapped with the protagonist, that every minute becomes precious when you can see it slipping away. The film was controversial when released. Critics called it un-American because the town abandons Kane, the community fails. This challenged the Western myth that Americans stand together. Zinnemann showed the truth. People are cowards. They let heroes die alone. And sometimes the hero survives not because of virtue, but because he is too stubborn to run. The final shootout lasts 3 minutes, after 82 minutes of waiting. And it feels earned, satisfying. Because Zinnemann made you wait, made you suffer with Kane, made you feel every second. Spielberg learned that patience creates payoff, that the longer you wait, the more the release matters. That suspense is not about what happens. It is about when it happens, and making the audience agonize over that when. High Noon is a masterclass in suspense, and Spielberg studied every frame, every clock, every refusal, every moment of Kane standing alone, because Zinnemann proved that one man waiting can be more powerful than 100 men fighting. Number 7. The Wild Bunch, 1969. Sam Peckinpah made The Wild Bunch and taught Spielberg how to film violence. William Holden leads Aging Outlaws in 1913. The West is dying. Automobiles exist. Their way of life is extinct. They ride to Mexico for one last score. The film ends with the Batalla de Agua Prieta. 4 outlaws versus 200 Mexican soldiers. 10 minutes of operatic bloodshed. Slow motion. Multiple cameras, squibs exploding, bodies dancing, blood misting the air. Everyone dies. Peckinpah used 6 cameras filming at different speeds, then edited it into a symphony. This changed action cinema forever. Every director after Peckinpah tried to match his choreography, his rhythm, his understanding that violence could be beautiful and horrifying simultaneously. Spielberg calls Peckinpah the most influential action director in history. Because before The Wild Bunch, gunfights were clean. Heroes shot villains. Villains fell down. Simple, bloodless. Peckinpah destroyed that sanitized vision. He showed what bullets actually do to human bodies. The way flesh tears, the way blood sprays, the way death is messy and horrible and final. Spielberg borrowed the multi-camera technique for Saving Private Ryan. The Omaha beach sequence, handheld, cameras, different film stocks, different speeds, chaos, violence, terror. The way Peckinpah filmed the Batalla de Agua Prieta influenced how Spielberg filmed D-Day. But Spielberg also learned what not to do. Peckinpah made violence beautiful, balletic. Spielberg wanted violence to be horrifying, so he took Peckinpah's techniques and stripped the beauty, made it ugly, chaotic, terrifying. The Wild Bunch glorifies death in slow motion. Saving Private Ryan condemns it in real time. Both films use the same language. Multiple cameras, varied speeds, visceral impact. But Spielberg learned from Peckinpah that technique serves tone, that how you film violence determines how audiences feel about it, that the same methods can create opposite meanings. The Wild Bunch also taught Spielberg about elegiac storytelling. These outlaws are dinosaurs. The world has moved on. The film mourns them even as it shows their brutality. Holden's final walk, knowing he will die, choosing it anyway. Because dying as an outlaw is better than living as a relic. This influenced Spielberg's approach to War Horse, to Lincoln, to Bridge of Spies, stories about the end of eras, the death of old ways, the cost of progress. Peckinpah showed Spielberg that action films can be poetry, that violence can be art, even when the art argues that violence destroys everything it touches. Number 6, Shane, 1953. George Stevens directed Shane and created the most mythic Western Spielberg ever saw as a child. Alan Ladd plays Shane, a gunfighter trying to leave violence behind. He works for the Starrett family, homesteaders in Wyoming, but a ruthless cattle baron wants their land, hires gunmen to terrorize them. Shane tries to stay neutral, tries to remain a farmhand, not a killer, but violence finds him. It always finds men like Shane. He straps on his guns one last time, walks into town, kills the gunman, saves the family, then rides away into the mountains. The film ends with young Joey Starrett running after him, screaming, "Shane, come back." Shane never comes back. Because men like Shane cannot stay. Violence is their nature. They save communities then leave because they do not belong in civilization. They are too dangerous, too damaged, too stained by what they have done. Spielberg saw Shane when he was 6 years old. The film traumatized him. He could not understand why Shane left, why Joey lost his hero. As an adult, Spielberg understands. Shane is toxic. His violence saved the family, but also corrupted them. The father, Joe Starrett, wanted to solve problems through law, through community, through patience. Shane solved them through murder, easier, faster, more permanent. But it destroyed the moral foundation Joe was building. Shane leaves because he knows this. He is poison, beautiful poison, necessary poison, but poison nonetheless. His presence makes violence acceptable, makes killing a solution, and that cannot be the lesson for Joey. So, Shane rides away, sacrifices his own happiness for the boy's moral education. This influenced every Spielberg film about heroes who do not fit. E.T. must leave because he does not belong on Earth. His presence endangers Elliot's family. Oskar Schindler saves people then flees because he is a criminal, a profiteer. His methods worked but cannot be celebrated. Private Ryan survives but carries guilt forever, knowing good men died so he could live. These are all Shane, heroes who save people then disappear because heroism is incompatible with normal life. Stevens shot Shane in Technicolor. The mountains are gorgeous. The valley is paradise. This visual beauty contrasts with the violence, making it more disturbing. Blood on beauty, death in Eden. Spielberg borrowed this technique constantly, shooting suburban beauty in E.T., then invading it with government agents, shooting the lush colors of Munich before the assassinations begin. Beauty interrupted by horror, innocence destroyed by necessity. That came from Stevens, from Shane, from understanding that the West was beautiful, and that beauty made the violence more tragic. Number 5, The Searchers, 1956. John Ford directed The Searchers and Spielberg calls it the most complex character study in Western history. John Wayne plays Ethan Edwards, a Confederate veteran searching for his niece kidnapped by Comanches. The search lasts 5 years, covers thousands of miles, and slowly reveals that Ethan is not a hero. He is a racist consumed by hatred. He wants to find Debbie, not to save her, to kill her, because she lived with Comanches for years, married one, had children. In Ethan's mind, she is contaminated, ruined, better dead than Indian. The film follows a monster, forces you to understand his perspective without excusing it, shows how racism and trauma create men like Ethan. Men who cannot see humanity in others, cannot see redemption, cannot see anything except their own pain reflected back as hatred. Spielberg studied The Searchers for its moral complexity. Most Westerns are simple: good guys versus bad guys, white hats versus black hats. Ford made a film where the protagonist wears a black hat, where the hero is the villain, but the film forces you to follow him, to see the world through his eyes, to understand how beautiful landscapes contain ugly souls. The cinematography is gorgeous: Monument Valley, red rocks, blue skies. John Wayne framed against infinity. The visual beauty makes Ethan's ugliness more disturbing. The contradiction, the cognitive dissonance. How can something so beautiful be so hateful? The final shot is iconic. Ethan standing in a doorway. The family reunited inside. Ethan outside, forever. Because there is no place for men like him in civilization. He belongs to the wilderness, the violence, the endless frontier where his hatred can exist without consequence. Spielberg borrowed this framing device constantly. Doorways, thresholds, characters caught between worlds. E.T. looking at Earth from the spaceship, Schindler standing outside the factory watching Jews work, Lincoln framed in doorways throughout the film, always between rooms, between eras, between the old America and the new. These images came from Ford, from The Searchers, from understanding that the most powerful images are characters trapped between worlds, unable to fully belong to either. The film also taught Spielberg about problematic protagonists. Ethan Edwards is America, violent, racist, beautiful, destructive, capable of great deeds and great evil. The film does not condemn him or celebrate him, just shows him, lets audiences decide. Spielberg applied this to Schindler's List. Oskar Schindler is not a hero. He is a profiteer, an opportunist, a member of the Nazi Party who happens to save people. The film shows his complexity, never simplifies him, never makes him pure. That came from Ford, from understanding that the most interesting characters challenge audiences, make you uncomfortable, force you to confront truths you would rather ignore. Number 4. Once Upon a Time in the West, 1968. Sergio Leone directed Once Upon a Time in the West and taught Spielberg that patience creates power. The opening scene is 10 minutes long, 3 killers waiting at a train station. No dialogue, just sound design, a windmill creaking, water dripping from a roof, a fly buzzing around one killer's face. He catches it, lets it go, catches it again. Then Charles Bronson arrives on the train, the harmonica player. The dialogue begins. But those 10 minutes of silence established everything. The pace, the tone, the understanding that Leone's West is operatic, mythic, a place where time moves differently, where patience is power, where the waiting matters more than the action. The film takes its time with everything. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Every scene breathes. Every shot is composed like a painting. Leone understood that rushing destroys impact, that letting audiences sit with images creates emotion. Spielberg calls this the most beautifully shot Western ever made, and the film that taught him to trust silence, to trust that audiences will stay engaged even when nothing is happening. Because nothing happening is still something. The film is about the death of the Old West, railroads replacing gunslingers, civilization destroying mythology, progress murdering romance. Henry Fonda plays Frank, a killer working for the railroad baron, casting against type. Fonda spent his entire career playing heroes, honest men, noble men, Lincoln, Tom Joad, the ultimate good guys. Leone cast him as evil incarnate, a man who murders children in cold blood, shoots a little boy while his father swings from a noose. This casting subversion taught Spielberg everything. Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan, not as a stereotypical soldier, as a terrified high school teacher. Daniel Day-Lewis in Lincoln, not as a monument, as a tired politician telling jokes. Casting actors against type creates complexity, surprises audiences, makes characters unpredictable. That came from Leone, from Once Upon a Time in the West, from making Henry Fonda evil. The film's structure influenced every Spielberg historical epic. Long scenes, patient, building slowly to inevitable conclusions. Ennio Morricone's score is as important as the images. The music creates emotion, tells the story through melody. Each character has a theme: harmonica's revenge theme, Jill's hope theme, Frank's death theme, the railroad's progress theme. Spielberg worked with John Williams the way Leone worked with Morricone. The score drives the narrative, creates atmosphere, makes scenes epic. Leone showed Spielberg that cinema is opera, that westerns are the most operatic genre, that patience and beauty can coexist with violence, that sometimes the most powerful moments are the quietest. The final duel between harmonica and Frank is perfect. 10 minutes of close-ups, eyes, hands, sweat, the score building and building, then 3 shots, 2 seconds, over. Spielberg borrowed this structure for every climax in his career.
That guy's awful slow getting there.
I feel sorry for him. Always in reach and never able to do anything about it.
I got a feeling. He said he wanted his wife to get this letter, didn't he? Said there was nobody to look after the kids, didn't he?
Number 3, The Oxbow Incident, 1943. William Wellman directed The Oxbow Incident and made the most morally devastating Western Spielberg ever saw. Henry Fonda and Harry Morgan play cowboys arriving in a Nevada town in 1885. News spreads. Cattle rustlers murdered a local rancher. The town forms a posse. No law, no sheriff, just angry men with guns and rope. They ride out hunting the killers. Find 3 men camped with cattle that might be stolen. Maybe. The men claim they bought the cattle legally, have a bill of sale, but the posse does not care about evidence, does not care about proof. The mob wants blood, wants justice, wants to feel powerful. They vote. Majority rules, democracy in action. They hang all 3 men from a tree, then ride back to town and discover the rancher is alive, was not murdered, just wounded. The men they hanged were innocent, bought the cattle legally, had families, had lives, and now they are dead. The film ends with the posse returning to town, silent, guilty, broken, knowing they murdered innocent men and that the law will not punish them. Because frontier justice is not justice, it is lynching. Spielberg calls this the most important film about mob mentality ever made because it shows how good people commit evil. The posse members are not villains. They are farmers, shopkeepers, family men, regular people, but mob psychology transforms them. One voice says, hang them, then another, then everyone, and dissent becomes impossible. The few voices arguing for due process are shouted down, called cowards, traitors, weak. The mob does not want justice. It wants catharsis, wants to do something, anything. And hanging feels like action, feels like strength. Even when it is murder, the film runs 75 minutes, feels like 5 hours. Every minute is agony. Watching innocent men plead, watching the mob ignore them, watching good people become killers through collective cowardice. This influenced Spielberg's understanding of historical atrocities, how the Holocaust happened, how ordinary Germans participated, not from inherent evil, from following the crowd, from moral cowardice, from the comfort of belonging. The Oxbow incident is a Western, but it is really about humanity's capacity for collective evil. The film was made in 1943, during World War II, while the Holocaust was happening. Wellman made it as a warning about fascism, about lynch mobs in America, about the danger of sacrificing justice for expedience. Spielberg studied this film obsessively before making Schindler's List, before Amistad, before Munich. Understanding that historical films must show not just what happened, but how it happened, how normal people become murderers. The Oxbow incident provides the answer: fear, conformity, the desire to belong, the comfort of collective action, the abdication of individual responsibility, democracy becoming tyranny when majority rule replaces justice.
What's wrong, Campbell? We have 3 hours yet till we stop.
Dunson here says he's leaving a train.
Is that right, Dunson? Are you leaving?
I am.
You can't do that. You signed on.
Number 2. Red River, 1948. Howard Hawks directed Red River, and Spielberg calls it the greatest director-actor collaboration in Western history. John Wayne plays Tom Dunson, a ruthless cattle baron driving 10,000 head from Texas to Missouri after the Civil War. Montgomery Clift plays Matt, his adopted son. The drive becomes a nightmare. Rivers flood. Stampedes kill men. Food runs low, and Dunson becomes tyrannical, obsessed with reaching Missouri, willing to sacrifice anyone, everything. Matt rebels, takes the herd, splits the group, leads the cattle to a different railhead. The film becomes King Lear on the Chisholm Trail, a father-son tragedy about legacy, about whether sons must become their fathers or destroy them, about whether mercy is weakness or wisdom. Hawks filmed this as Greek tragedy set in the American West. Spielberg studied Red River for every father-son story he ever told. The influence is obvious. Indiana Jones and Henry Jones, Sr., absent father, rebellious son, years of resentment, eventually reconciling through adventure. That came from Red River, E.T. and Elliot, surrogate father-son relationship. The extraterrestrial teaching the boy to grow up, to be brave, to say goodbye. That came from Red River. Warhorse has this dynamic, father and son separated by war, the horse representing their connection, their unspoken love. Even AI, artificial intelligence. David searching for his mother, learning that love requires sacrifice. These stories all trace back to Hawks, to Red River, to understanding that Westerns work best as family drama, that cattle drives and gunfights are just backdrop for relationships, for legacy, for passing something meaningful to the next generation. Tom Dunson is King Lear, tyrannical, unable to change. His stubbornness almost destroys everything. The Ruam herd, the men, his relationship with Matt, but Matt saves him, not through violence, through mercy. The ending is controversial. They fight, brutal, then a woman stops them, forces Dunson to see what he is doing. He realizes Matt was right. They reconcile. Some critics call this ending a cop-out. Hawks caved to studio pressure for a happy ending. The original script had them killing each other, but Spielberg disagrees with the critics. He sees the ending as essential, as sons forgiving fathers, as legacy preserved through evolution. Dunson's way does not work anymore. The world has changed. But Matt's way honors Dunson's vision while improving it, takes the dream and adapts it. This influenced every Spielberg film about legacy, about passing the torch, about sons surpassing fathers while respecting them. Red River taught Spielberg that family drama is universal, that Westerns are just one way to tell these stories, but they tell them better than any other genre, because Westerns are about building, creating, leaving something behind. And that is what family is, what legacy is, what sons owe fathers, not blind obedience, respectful evolution.
Will you stake a fellow on?
Goodbye, Curtin.
Goodbye, Howard.
Good luck.
Same to you.
Number 1, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, 1948. John Huston directed The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, and Spielberg calls it the greatest film ever made about greed-destroying men. Not just his favorite Western, his favorite film about human nature. Period. Humphrey Bogart plays Fred C. Dobbs, an American drifter in Tampico, Mexico. 1925, he and two partners, Curtin and Howard, prospect for gold in the Sierra Madre Mountains. They find it, bags of gold dust, fortune, everything they dreamed about, and it destroys them. Dobbs becomes paranoid, suspicious, convinced his partners are stealing from him, plotting against him. The gold consumes him, transforms him from desperate drifter to homicidal maniac. He murders Howard. Curtin kills Dobbs in self-defense. Then bandits attack, steal the bags. Thinking they contain sand, they empty them. The wind scatters the gold back into the desert, back into the mountain. The film ends with Curtin and the recovered Howard laughing at the cosmic joke. They found fortune and it killed them, and the universe took it back, returned it to the earth. This is Spielberg's number 1, his favorite Western. His favorite film about what happens when civilization's rules disappear, because Huston showed how thin the veneer of civilization actually is, how quickly men revert to savagery when tested by greed. Dobbs is not evil at the beginning. He is desperate, broke, hungry, dreaming of a better life. The gold makes him evil, transforms him, shows what he always was underneath, what we all are underneath when the constraints are removed. This influenced every Spielberg film about obsession, about men consumed by single-minded pursuit. Quint in Jaws, obsessed with the shark. The obsession kills him, drowns him. Schindler obsessed first, with money, then with saving people. The obsession defines him, saves him. Close Encounters. Roy Neary obsessed with the mountain, with the vision, destroys his family, abandons everything. For what? For contact, for meaning. The obsession costs everything. And Spielberg learned that from Huston, from The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, from watching Dobbs spiral into madness over bags of dust. The film's structure is perfect. 3 acts, the search, the find, the destruction. Spielberg borrowed this for every treasure hunt film he made: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. The treasure always comes with cost, always demands sacrifice. Jones survives because he learns to let go, to walk away, to value people over artifacts. Dobbs dies because he cannot see past the gold, cannot value friendship, cannot stop. The film's most famous line, "Badges? We don't need no stinking badges," spoken by bandits pretending to be federales. This line encapsulates everything. Authority is performance, law is costume. Strip away civilization and humans are animals, fighting over gold, over power, over nothing. Huston made a film about capitalism, about the American dream becoming American nightmare, about how the pursuit of wealth destroys everything it touches: friendship, sanity, life. And Spielberg learned from this that Westerns are not about the West. They are about human nature under pressure, about what men become when society's rules no longer apply. When you can do anything, take anything, and the only consequence is what you can live with. Some men can live with anything. Those men become monsters, and the gold they chase scatters in the wind. These 10 Westerns are Steven Spielberg's film school, the education of cinema's most successful directors. From Ford, he learned that mythology matters more than truth, that directors are not historians, they are myth makers. From Hawks, he learned that character creates tension, that ensemble casts need time to breathe, to bond. From Zinnemann, he learned that waiting is more powerful than action, that deadlines create urgency. From Peckinpah, he learned how to film violence, and more importantly, how technique serves tone. From Stevens, he learned that beauty makes violence tragic, that heroes cannot stay. From Leone, he learned patience, that silence is powerful, that opera and westerns are the same thing. From Wellman, he learned about mob mentality, how good people commit evil collectively. From Huston, he learned that greed destroys, that obsession costs everything. Every Spielberg film contains DNA from these westerns. The language, the structure, the understanding that genre is just a vehicle for exploring human nature. Which of these 10 westerns is your favorite? Which one do you think influenced Spielberg the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into how the masters learned their craft, hit that subscribe button. Because Spielberg learned from the best. And these 10 westerns are the best. The only 10 worth watching if you want to understand not just the western genre, but cinema itself, the language, the grammar, the poetry. It all started here, in the West. And Spielberg never forgot where cinema learned to speak.